Somehow I remember growing up as a kid that the idea that what happened in the ballot box was a private matter. Somehow that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. The reason I bring this up is that the Trump Commission on Election Fraud or whatever has been demanding that the states give the federal government the voter rolls. And part of this has to do with trying to determine who's actually been voting, whether people who aren't qualified to vote have been voting, whether illegal aliens have been voting, whether people have been voting multiple times, whatever. What's disturbing about this is that information that is supposed to be private, things like Social Security numbers, home addresses, political affiliation, all of these things now are being handed over to the federal government just as if they have a right to it. And some states, including Alaska, my state, have resisted and said no, and now a state, a district judge has ruled that they can continue doing it and that the states should cooperate with it. Now, I don't know how you feel about that, but if you, for whatever reason, decided not to participate in a particular election, and you got a letter shaming you for not participating, or maybe you voted for somebody that those in power didn't think you ought to have voted for, or maybe you came down on the wrong side of an issue according to a certain political party or whatever else. The fact that they can have a record of who voted also means they can have a record of how you voted, which means that really the way to influence elections now in terms of intimidation and putting pressure on people has just been magnified. And it's been magnified in a very dangerous way because really the people who are protected the most by this are those who are in positions of power. And it doesn't matter who your candidate is or what your position is. The fact that those in power have the ability to exert more pressure and more power on those who are not in positions of power should be disturbing. If you're not disturbed, I don't know how to wake you up. I'm just pointing this out, that this myth of voting as some kind of a magical thing that helps to transfer the power to the people. I think this issue of the voting commission is exposing more of the kabuki theater that it really is. We're watching a bunch of shadows on the wall. And the more people get excited about a particular candidate or issue, and we continue to be divided against each other on really what I would consider unimportant things when you look at a more eternal perspective. Look, 100 years ago, do you know who was running for office in any particular issue? No, but I bet you can tell me who your great-grandparents were, right? Maybe you can't. But it seems to me like that's more important. Issues of family, of being a good person, of being a person who is known for having love, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. Isn't that much more important than voting? Something to consider. Love to engage you on the topic. Send me an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com. And, of course, the phone lines are always open, 907-458-0495.